Okay, there we go. All right, we're recording the next part of Chapter 3 review at Washington State School for the Blind on Wednesday, October 30th. The usual suspects are here today. All right. Okay, so angle K, we're on page 135. Angle K is 152 degrees. And then we go counterclockwise, so the opposite direction, go back in time. We find angle C. How many degrees is that? 30. Let's identify these as we go. Classify the K angle. Is it obtuse?
Obtuse.
Acute? Obtuse. Okay. Classify the C angle.
Acute.
Acute. Good. Now keep going counterclockwise and find angle P. Good. 60 degrees. Acute. Good.
Yeah.
And then one more angle down towards the bottom of the page. Angle, what is it? W?
Yeah. And that is also acute.
It's also acute. And notice, Braillers, that they have the measurement of that angle on the outside of the angle, and they have a very faint, light, little pointy thing.
Angle, right?
Yeah. No, it's actually an interior 28 degrees because there's a little faint line pointing the 28 into the inside. Can you feel that?
Oh.
Yeah. It's not the nicest way to label angles, but it works.
But it was too small to put the point.
It was. That's right. In print, they're able to squeeze the numbers inside those angles. That's about the smallest they can go. Yeah. All right. So, what two angles could we combine that would be, what two angles are complementary? Or are they complements of each other?
60 and 30.
The 60 and 30, C and P. Now, if you're asked the two angles that are complementary, say them as their angles. So angle C, angle P. If you're asked for the measures of an angle, then say 30 and 60. That's the technicality, all right?
Yeah.
Just because in case on a multiple choice test, what they might do is have an answer of 30, 60, and then a C and a P. And if you didn't carefully read that they wanted to know the angles over the measures,
You're a jerk.
yeah, and you knew the math. That's not fair. You knew the math.
You should at least get a half point.
But multiple standardized tests don't give half points. All right. What K and W? What are they to each other?
W, where are you?
K and W. What are they to each other? Supplements. Yeah, supplementary. Yeah, one's 152 and one's 28. What is the definition of supplementary angles?
They go there.
They add up to 180.
They add up to 180. Excellent. So 152 and 28.
They do.
Yeah.
180.
So we would say W and K are supplements of each other, or W is the supplement to K, or angle K is the supplement to angle W, or you could say angle W and angle K are supplementary angles, right? And remember, the definition of complementary and supplementary does not include that they have to be adjacent. They can be just floating out in space like this and still be complementary or supplementary. They can be adjacent, which is cool, but not always.
Yeah, it's always good.
All right, turn the page, 2 pages. The 135I. And we have a very messy graphic here.
135I?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. It's pretty messy, so we got to talk about it. And this is where you got to kind of advocate for yourself if you're a Braille reader. Angelica's got a pretty easy go of it because they've got the measurements on the inside of the angles. But Braillers, they've got measurements of angles floating out in space with little lines pointing to them, and they're not super clear. So let's start at the top at letter D, at the 12 o'clock position.
It almost looks like
And if you go down to A, which is the vertex point, and A is labeled immediately to the left of the vertex point, then go back up to the 2 o'clock position to F. So D, A, F is your first angle. And there's a little faint line in the interior, and it's pointing out, and Jessica, that's correct, it's 35 degrees.
Yep.
So DAF is 35. All right, from F, so we're going to go clockwise this time, F, which means going
forward in time.
Go back to A.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, because the pointy.
Yeah, you found it. There it is. Okay. All right, go back to F. Now F-A-J. F-A-J. J, Jessica and I like the letter J for some reason. I don't know why.
I know why.
F-A-J. All right.
I know why.
Now, on the very close to the the vertex of FAJ on the interior is 62 degrees.
Okay.
So FAJ is 62 degrees. All right?
Number 62.
All right, go back to J, and now go J, A, K, and K's at about 5 o'clock.
They have
You see
nothing.
it? J, A, K. Now there is something. They put the label kind of far away from the vertex, just down below the arrowheads.
Is that 29?
And it's 54. Nope. Go up a little bit. There it is. You find it? Right next to K. Yes, Jessica, thank you. Next to K, it says 54 degrees. I wish they would have tucked it a little closer in, but they didn't. So J, A, K. J is just slightly below 3 o'clock.
Jack.
J, A, K is 54
Nice.
degrees. All right, from K, at your 5 o'clock position, go back to A and go down to L at 6 o'clock position.
That's right down.
K, A, L is from 5 o'clock to center to 6 o'clock. Now, yes, all way below your angle,
Right by the arrow.
right by the arrowheads, just below the arrowheads, is giving the measure of that angle, 29 degrees. Okay? So KAL is 29 degrees. Phew! All right, go back to L at 6 o'clock. Back to your center, your vertex, A. And then go till about 10 o'clock.
S.
S. Yes.
Only 35 degrees.
Nope.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Banana.
Yes. So you turned your brain on, Jessica, and went, no way is that a 35-degree angle. That feels like a big obtuse angle. I know that's going to be more than 90 degrees. And so then you found back between A and L, it says 145 degrees, alongside the AL ray. To the left of the AL ray, it says 145 degrees.
So they didn't put the line thing
No,
between.
they didn't. That's where it's a little confusing.
Yeah.
Then you go up to S at about 10 o'clock and go SAD. Aw, sad. Sad little angle. SAD. Yep. So 11 o'clock to 8 o'clock to 12 o'clock. And then that's the 35-degree angle, which is over by. Yeah.
Oh,
And it has a slight little line pointing into the angle. That's the 35-degree angle.
Yes.
Phew.
It's
All right.
degrees.
So SAD is 35. Then if we go around the clock again to review, DAF is 35. FAJ is 62. JAK is 54.
That one.
KAL is 29. And LAS is 145. Phew. What is
Big one.
What would these all add up to? Not even doing the math.
All the way.
much.
What is it?
No.
180. No. That's it.
360 degrees. 35 and 35 is 70, and 62 is 132, and 54 is 186, and 29 is 186, 195, 215, and 145 is 360. Ah, it all added up. Phew. And you made me think this morning. I had to do calculator math. Yes, Miss Martha?
My grandma had a cat named Patel,
Yeah?
and he passed away
Oh, yeah?
because of this infection in his lungs.
Oh. There's a guy on the internet called Saul Khan, and he runs Khan Academy. And his name is Saul, S-A-L. Saul. He's a really cool guy. He's kind of like a math ninja. Yeah. He's from India. Yeah. All right. Now what do we have to answer about these? So number 25 says name a pair of non-adjacent supplementary angles. Non-adjacent supplementary.
Okay, 40,
Wait,
145.
supplementary, that's 180, right? Yes.
Yes.
So 145 plus.
Non-adjacent.
Okay. What the? Oh yeah. So. Oh, this one.
Okay. Can you be more vague?
Yeah. So. J-A. No.
J-A. No, not
No,
J-A.
No. Okay, let me Oh, here it is.
Okay, where is it?
F
Uh-huh.
A
Uh-huh.
D.
FAD, yes, is 35 degrees. And then, so the angle FAD, and then what's the other angle that you want to
L A S.
LAS. So that's how you'd name it. It said name a pair of angles. So you wouldn't want to say 145 and 35. That's going to be wrong. You're going to say angle LAS or SAL and angle FAD or DAF. Now, if a student said angle SAD, they got it half right. They found the supplementary angles, but the directions were to find non-adjacent supplementary angles. So DAF or FAD and then SAL or LAS, those two are non-adjacent, right? They share a common vertex, but they do not share a common ray. They are on the opposite sides of the line DL. That is correct. All right, number 26 says name a pair of supplementary angles. So now it's not classifying that they have to be non-adjacent. They can be adjacent. Supplementary. 30. So nope, supplementary. So we're still doing supplementary, but you could name you could name the same two angles if you'd like.
Right?
Or you could name the angles that are together, or you could create your own.
It can be adjacent,
Well, because
right?
SAL
SAL,
is adjacent to this other angle.
SAD.
Yeah, SAD.
Yep.
So those are supplementary.
Those are supplementary.
Sal and Sal.
Yep. Also, let's push our brains. What about DAJ and JAL? DAJ. That's two angles together, isn't it?
Too far away.
DAJ.
Oh, here it is.
And then JAL. Those two angles together. Would we still get 180 if we added all those up? Yeah. So we could do SAJ and JAK. There's a bunch of choices on here. We could do KAL and LAS, right? No, we can't do that one. Sorry. That's 29.
Supplementary
Yep.
180.
180. We can't do this. We can't do KAL. 29 and 135 is not going to work. SA and AK look like opposite rays, but they're not. AK is slightly skewed.
Okay.
All right. 27. Find the measure of an angle that is supplementary to KAJ. Now, this key word is it says find the measure. So we don't need to know a name of an angle. We just need to know the number. So you need to know how much KAJ is. How much is KAJ?
54 degrees.
Good. And then we want to find the measure of an angle that is supplementary to KAJ. So they don't want to know an angle. They just want to know a number. So what do you think?
that would be 45.
Oh, that's complementary, and it would be 36.
54.
But you want to find supplementary. They're still asking about supplementary.
Where is it? Oh, here
So
it is.
here it is.
No.
You find it? 54.
Not yet. Oh,
All right. So what would be supplementary to 54 degrees?
Next to what I'm looking for.
180 minus 54. Correct.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. 180 minus 54. What do you get?
You have it to minus.
You have to minus.
Oh, oh, yeah.
Somebody's using their talking calculator.
So it is.
No, that's not right.
Oh, yeah. It's 126.
That's not it.
It isn't an angle up here, no.
So we make up one.
So you just make up, you're just saying the measure. Yeah, you're just saying the measure would be 126 degrees.
Ooh, right. I did that all in my head.
Yeah. So that's the key difference when it says name a pair of angles, you're having to name the angles. When it says find the measure, you're just having to do the math. Okay?
Oh, I can't.
All right, so number 28 says find the measure of an angle that is complementary to angle DAS.
DAF? I don't know.
It's in DAS 35 degrees.
DAS is 35 degrees.
And they didn't say adjacent, right?
Minus.
Complementary.
It didn't
Complementary.
say adjacent, it just said find the measure.
So what if we did
55.
JAF?
Read the question again, Jessica. Find the measure.
It's a 55.
You
Well,
don't
that's
even-
35 degrees.
Yeah. What is it?
35 degrees.
So no, but they want to know the measure of the angle that's complementary to that
90
angle.
minus
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
35 plus 35 is...
No.
Wait, what am I doing?
Spoken with confidence.
sorry.
I know.
Okay.
I know it. That was awesome.
45.
There you go. That's right. So 35 plus what is 90?
55.
55. There we go. I love how
So
Jessica
answer
was
is
like so
55?
confident.
I know.
Confident.
35 and 35 is 90.
Ah,
I'm like,
JJ.
well, 2 and 2 is 5. I don't.
Oh my god.
In Jessica's math land, she's gonna change everything.
I will.
Yeah, 35 is now 45. It's the new 45. It's like
it's like they have a math fashion.
I know.
35 is the new.
It's like now our aging. You know, when we turn 40, they're like, oh, the 40. It's the new 30. Yeah. When we turn 50, oh, that's the new 40. Turn 60, that's the new 50.
So answer is gonna be 55.
So the angle needs to be 55, and there isn't an angle on here that's 55. They didn't say name the angle. They said find the measure. So all you would do is say the measure of the angle would be 65 degrees.
55.
55.
Oh!
Oh, man, I'm already doing Jessica's new math. Oh. All right. Turn the page, 2 pages.
Dang.
I love this class.
You like the class?
Yeah.
You don't just like the class. You love the
Yeah, I
class.
do. Complementary.
I know. You are my 40 degrees.
You am, Mom.
Or actually, yeah. All right.
You're the lower speed limit.
I'm a lower speed limit.
Yeah.
All right.
My stepdad's the high speed limit.
Yeah.
He's 17.
Yeah.
My lady was asking me if I
Mom's the lowest.
run and see if I was going. I was like, sure. And I can apparently go 15 miles an hour.
15 miles an hour? That's about right. Yeah, a human, not for extended time,
Yeah,
but a human can push themselves. I think the fastest ones are over 20 miles an hour, the guys that run the 100 meters in the Olympics, but they can only do it for 100 meters.
Oh, yeah.
You know. Or, well, there's runners that run under 4-minute miles in the Olympics. They're sprinting around that track. They run like high 3-minuters, but 4 minutes for a mile, right? That's that would mean that they could do 15 miles in an hour. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
right. 4 times 15 is 60.
It was like near the entrance to the mountain that we have,
Uh-huh.
down to the mailbox.
Oh, you got the hill to help you. There
Yeah.
you go. That gravity helped too.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the graphic on page 136.
It's easier to run that hill
One-
than to ride a bike up it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
136 straight up.
Question.
We have this is where we're gonna do congruent and vertical angles, right? And so,
It feels like there's a right angle here.
yes, there is a right angle there, Bryant.
Oh, there is.
So they don't have any points that they've labeled on this
there is.
drawing.
Right.
We have some arrowheads. We have an arrowhead at 12 o'clock extending down to 6 o'clock. And then we have an arrowhead over at about 10 o'clock extending to about 4 o'clock. And then, yes, Bryant, you identify that there's a right angle. There's a line segment from our line going from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock down to our line going from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and then a right angle indicator. So how many degrees is that?
19.
Then they've labeled the angle at the top of that little, so it created a triangle, didn't it? They labeled the top of the angle, the top angle of the triangle, angle 3, and then they labeled the bottom right angle,
2.
angle 2.
And then the one below that is 1.
Yes, and then the vertical angle to that, remember vertical angles? The vertical angle to angle 2 is angle 1. The definition of vertical angles means that they're congruent, correct? They're equal each other, so we know that 1 and 2 are going to equal each other. And we know that that right angle is 90 degrees. So it says the measure of angle 1 is, if the measure of angle 1 is 51 degrees, and angle 2 and angle 3 are complementary, find the measure of angle 3. So angle 1 is 51 degrees. What would that mean that angle 2 is? 51 degrees, right, based upon your vertical angle definition. And if angle 2 is 51 degrees, and we know that angle 2 and angle 3 are complementary, what is angle 3 going to be?
39.
39. Excellent. And the reason why we know angle 2 and angle 3 are complementary is that this goes way back into your archives from pre-algebra days. How many degrees are on the interior of a triangle? Total. 180. 180. So we have a 90 degree already, so that it has to split 90 degrees between the other two angles. So the other two angles are always going to be complementary on a right angle, right triangle. So that's why they were told us that 2 and 3 were complementary. We could have derived that based upon our prior knowledge. We're going to learn more about triangles later in this book with all our special definitions. All right, then it says angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. So angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. The measure of angle 1 is 51, so the measure of angle 2 is 51. 2 and 3 are complementary, so the measure of angle 3 is 90 minus 51, which is 39. So it explains all that on the next page, I believe. All right, let's go practice. All right, turn the page, 136B. He's got two drawings on this page for number 29 and 30. We just have to find the value of x. So number 29 has two lines intersecting at exactly what? 1 point. Always, always, always. Two lines intersecting. All right, this first one's easy, Jessica says. It says find the value of x.
If you put these together, it's just 115 equals x.
Uh-huh.
So they're congruent.
They are.
Plus, I think they're...
So you have two, you've created 4 angles,
Yeah.
and the two that they're identifying are vertical angles, correct?
Yeah.
So if one of them's 115, its vertical pair is got to be
115.
115. Okay. Piece of cake. I know. Piece of cake. All right, go down to number 30. Now we got to do a little bit more work. We got to do some algebra. Oh, rats. But not very hard algebra. We can do this algebra probably in our head, can't we?
Yeah.
How are we going to set this equation up to figure this out?
75.
75 equals 2x minus 1. That's right. You have a 75-degree angle, and it is vertical. It is a vertical pair with the 2x minus 1.
Yeah.
All right, so you're going to make those equal to each other. 75 equals 2x minus 1. What do we have to do first?
Add 1.
Add 1 to both sides. So 75 plus 1 is 76 equals 2x.
And then divide by 2.
Divide by 2. Good. 76 divided by 2.
Oh, great. Oh, 38.
38. Yeah, nicely done. So x equals 38. Good. Awesome. All right, that wasn't too bad. All right, turn the page. We got number 31 on the next page. Find the measure of an angle that is complementary to angle R. If angle R is congruent to angle S, and the measure of angle S is 73 degrees.
Okay,
All right, so up at the top, Abby, it's giving the words. You don't really need the drawings in this. I mean, they give these two angles.
Oh, that's
It is. But you could answer this based upon the words. No, hold on.
26.
So if I told you don't look at the drawings, you would still be able to answer this question. It says find the measure of an angle that is complementary to angle R. So your brain has to turn on and go, oh, what does complementary mean? Means 90. If angle R is congruent to angle S and angle S is 73 degrees, then what's our complementary angle going to be? We know angle R is 73 degrees, right?
Yeah.
So what's the complement? Oop, 73?
Oh, 17.
17,
Yeah.
17 degrees. The trick there is they're trying to catch the student that's going to write 73.
Yeah.
You have to be very careful and realize that they want to know complementary.
Yeah, because I
Okay?
wasn't going to write 73. I was just
All
saying
right.
73 because that's a trick.
Okay. All right. Number 32 is on page 136D. 136D. All right. We have two lines intersecting in the middle of our page, and they've labeled all the angles all the way around these two lines. It's intersection point. Angle 1 is on the left, and then it goes clockwise. 2, they didn't label the angle vertical to 1, and then they labeled the angle vertical to 2, number 3. All right? So they left out, which they did on purpose. No worries. Sometimes that happens, and you just go, okay, whatever. All right. And they're asking us, angle 1 is supplementary to angle 2 and angle 3. Angle 3 is supplementary to angle 1. And the measure of angle 1 is 56. What are the measures of angle 2 and angle 3?
Angle 2 and angle 3.
Yeah, 180 minus 56. Yep. 124. Yeah, 124. So that's not that bad, is it? All right, turn the page. Turn the page, last section. The bell might ring on us, so I'm just going to keep talking through it while you guys pack up to finish out the video, and then you can watch the video tonight because there's going to be a test tomorrow. All right, identify and use the properties of and construct perpendicular lines and segments. So we have two lines. So starting at about 1 o'clock, we have W, and it extends down to about 7 o'clock all the way to Y. So we have WY, and we're being told that WY is perpendicular, because notice there's two right angle indicators at the vertex.
ZX.
Yep.
Okay. It's perpendicular to
ZX.
ZX. Yes, Angelica? ZX. Excellent. All right.
And there's buttons there too.
There are little buttons there, aren't there? This is a nice drawing so far. All right, so we got perpendicularity going on. And then there's a ray extending from the vertex to about the 11 o'clock position. There's no point on it. It's just a ray. And they're labeling the angles that it's creating as angle 1 and angle 2. All right. And the vertex point they're calling angle, or they're calling V. All right. They are adjacent. Angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. Okay. So angle WVZ is a right angle because of our perpendicular lines. We have right angles going all the way around, right? So we know angle 1 and angle 2 have to add up to what? 90. Angle YVZ is congruent to angle Y or WVX because of our vertical angles, because of our perpendicular. It's also 90. And the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 has to equal 90. All right? So the questions that are going to happen on the next couple pages to practice are all going to have to do with remembering your perpendicularity rules and the 90-degree rule. And sometimes you might even be told something is a bisector, which means it divides it in half. Okay? And you'll get through those. You'll be fine. Tomorrow's test, you'll have the whole period to do. And it's going to be 20 questions, it looks like. I'm going to rework a few of the directions probably because I'm not going to have you draw anything, okay? All right. So we'll see you in the morning, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Morning.
I'm going to keep talking for the next 5 minutes to finish out this lesson, and then I'll send it to you in case you want to listen to it tonight, part 1 and part 2, in order to review for the test, okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so just ignore me or hang up on me.
Ignore you.
I'm hanging up on you.
All right, see you later.
Okay, bye.
See you later. So we have a drawing on page 136G where point A starts at about the 10 o'clock position.
Yeah, I can understand
And
it. Yeah.
it runs down
I don't
through
remember what
the
we did.
vertex
Oh.
point
Oh.
and then through point E at about the 4 o'clock position.
Alt plus
And
F4.
then go back to the vertex.
Over here.
And
That's
if
control.
you go from the vertex to about the
Alt 4. You
2
want
o'clock position,
F4,
you
which
get
is
to
the
point.
top row.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Alt
And
F4.
then you
I think.
come back to the vertex
Well,
and you go
I'm not too sure what you
immediately
did.
Well,
to,
she's still talking that was right.
I know, but
if you go immediately to the
A to D,
right
don't
through
worry.
the 3 o'clock position, you go through point
Still
D.
there.
There's an arrowhead there. Then go back to the vertex and then go immediately down to the 6 o'clock position, and that is through point F. So there's your drawing. You have two right angle indicators back at the vertex. There's one immediately above it that's indicating that the angle ABC is a right angle. And then if you go back to the vertex position to the right, there's a right angle indicator that's indicating that angle DB, the vertex is called B, DBF is a right angle. They've labeled some of the angles with numbers. To the right of the vertex B, the angle CBD from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, CBD is angle 1, and then if you go clockwise, DBE is angle 2, and EBF is angle 3. So that's your drawing that you're working with to make out the questions for 33 through 37. Number 33, it says you got to do true or false on these. Angle ABC is an obtuse angle. So you find A at about the 10 o'clock position, go to B at your vertex, and C at about the 2 o'clock position. Notice there's a right angle indicator in there. So this is not an obtuse angle, it's a right angle, so that's false. Number 34 says the measure of angle FBD, so you have to go find FBD. F is at 6 o'clock, B is in the center, D is at 3 o'clock. FBD is a right angle, so you know that's 90 degrees. And the measure of ABC, so go find ABC again. You already had that from the last question. That's 90 degrees, and it says it equals 180. Yep, that's true. 90 plus 90 is 180. Then go for number 35, angle DBF. Okay, so angle DBF. That's the just reverse way of saying FBD, which we already located in the last question. So DBF is 90 degrees, it's got the 90 degree angle indicator, is congruent to CBE. So C is at 2 o'clock, B is at the vertex, E is at about 4 o'clock. All right, well, that would be because notice that CBE is adjacent to ABC, and ABC is 90 degrees. And then CBE, we were told that AE is a line and perpendicular to BC, so we know that we have a linear pair here, and a linear pair always equals 180 degrees. So if ABC is 90 degrees, we know that CBE is also 90 degrees, so yes, they are congruent. That's true. Number 36 says ray BD, so BD is going through 3 o'clock. Ray BD is perpendicular to line AE. Okay, so AE is from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock. BD is coming off of that from the center to 3 o'clock. Notice there's no right angle indicator going from, it's half of a right angle indicator. Notice that part of AE is splitting up our right angle indicator. So that means that most likely it's at a 45 degree angle. So that's false. BD is not perpendicular to AE. It's perpendicular to BF. That's what the right angle indicator is indicating, is that it's perpendicular to ray BF, but not line AE. So 36 is false. And then 37 says that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Well, angle 1 CBD would be half of 90 degrees, which is 45, and angle 3 FBE would be half of 90 degrees, which would be 45. So yes, that's true. 45 is congruent to 45. All right, so there's the answers to all of those. The next two questions are a couple of application questions, but they have very bizarre tactiles that we won't work our way through. Well, one of them's okay. It's a snowflake, and it does a pretty good job. You might want to take a look at those on your own and see if you can answer those, and if you have questions in the next class, you can ask them. I'm going to wrap up this lesson for today, and you're all prepped with Chapter 3 review. Listen to Part 1 and Part 2 at least once, if not twice, and practice all of your definitions and postulates and theorems and understanding of the tactiles in these, making sure you read the directions very carefully for each question and you're answering, whether it's asking to name an angle or find a measure. You're thinking about complementary and supplementary and perpendicularity and vertical angles, and you'll be prepped for the test. Have a good day.